Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Sacramento Area Sewer District and Northern California Sanitation Agency's Financing
Recording in
Authority
progress.
for Wednesday, May 27, 2026. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Directors Desmond, Dickinson, Hume, Kaplan. Here. Kennedy.
Here.
Orozco. Pluckybaum. Rathel.
Here.
Robles. Rodriguez.
Here.
Sander.
Here.
Cerna.
Here.
Soon.
Here.
Villegas.
Here.
And Karpinski Costa.
Present.
You have a quorum with the members that are present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will you please recite our opening remarks?
Yes, this meeting of the Sacramento Area Sewer District is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast cable system. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Sunday, May 31st at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/MetroCable14. SAC Sewer board members are compensated $100 for their participation in board meetings. Compensation for Sacramento County supervisors and City of Sacramento and Citrus Heights council members is paid to the county and cities, respectively, to partially offset the costs of those governments. Compensation for the other agencies is paid directly to the individual board members. Compensation for these legislative body meetings is verbally disclosed at each board meeting in accordance with the California Government Code Section 54952.3. To make an in-person public comment, please complete a speaker request form and hand it to the clerk. The chairperson will call your name when it's your turn to make a comment. You may send written comments by email to boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. This concludes your announcement, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and please let the record show that Vice Chair Orozco has also arrived, as well as Director Dickinson. If you please rise and join me in the pledge. Actually, let's have Mr. Natoli lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dickinson.
Okay. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone to this morning's proceedings of the Sacramento Area Sewer District and Northern California Sanitation Agency's Financing Authority. We do have a full agenda. And before we get started with today's agenda, I want to publicly thank both Christoph Dobson, our Executive Director, as well as Larice Washington, our Clerk, for fulfilling what I had requested at the conclusion, the unfortunate conclusion of the last meeting we had, which was to really emphasize to directors how important it is for us to maintain quorums here, especially in light of the season, it being budget season, where arguably we have the most important annual item in front of this board, and we need to do the public's business here and especially get that budget adopted. So I know part of today will be committed to some of that discussion. And I also understand, too, that at the last meeting we had a bit of a unusual built-in conflict with some members that serve both here as well as on our continuum of care that had to be at another important meeting. But with as many members as we have, scattered geographically as they are across the county, I want to make sure that our administration here is respectful of people's time and energy and cost, quite frankly, in getting here. And it behooves us all to make sure that we continue to prioritize our presence and service on this board. So with that, Madam Clerk, our first item.
Mr. Chair, our first item are the consent matters. Approve items 1 through 15.
All right. Any member wish to pull an item for separate discussion or vote or have questions Looking to my left, looking to my right, seeing none. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on consent?
We do have some speaker request forms that were given to you.
Yeah, let's see here to make sure I have, some of them are numbered, some of them aren't. Let's see,
Those should all be for item 17,
okay.
as far as we know.
Some put 1 and 2 on there.
I have 1 and 2.
I think they were referring to the first separate item is probably
Okay, so
why.
they're all consent.
If there are no public comments, I'll move consent for approval.
Well, hold on. Do we have speakers on consent or not?
No, I guess not.
No. Okay. All right. We have a motion to adopt consent. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Vote screen, please.
You may vote. Your motion passes unanimously.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, all of these items are for item 17.
Apparently, that's what they're for. They were under misunderstanding for items 1 and 2. So 17 is after the public comments for the septic to sewer program. Is that what everyone's comment slip is for?
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Item
Very good.
17. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Next item, please.
The next item is comments from the public on issues not on the posted agenda. We have no public speakers for off-agenda public comments.
All right. Very good.
Okay, item number 17, Mr. Chair, status update for the community-wide septic to sewer program.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board.
Morning.
Mike Hewitt, Director of Policy and Planning. And it's my pleasure to introduce the fantastic, amazing septic to sewer conversion project. This is an update for this project, or the projects. It's multiple projects. I want to highlight a couple things, and I want to turn it over to a couple of staff to do a presentation. It's pretty unbelievable. We had 95% of this project was grant funded. The majority of that was from the State Water Resources Control Board, about $37 million. We also got some grant funding from the US EPA and the County of Sacramento, transportation, economic development credits, and then also the American Rescue Plan or Recovery Act. And so we have not only is it amazing that we're at this stage where it's completed, this started years and years ago from the concept of what communities needed help to convert from septic to sewer. And so there was identification of communities, and that came together, and they settled on 4: Hood, Franklin, Old Thorntown, and Linda Manor. And then it went through the funding. How are we going to fund this? And went through the grant funding process and trying to leverage funding. And just amazing that we got in the $40 million range of grant funding, like I described a bit ago. And then we went through in the design and construction, and we're actually at the completion phase, which you're hearing now. So I do want to recognize some of the staff and the community and folks that have been involved with this. So if everybody involved with the septic to sewer program could stand up. We have SAC Sewer project managers, we have county staff, we have the contractors, we have the design consultants, we have a State Water Resources Control Board staff here, board member, and we have community members from Hood, and we have a former board member. And there's others who participated and helped out with this program as well. And I just want to say thanks to all of you who helped with this project. So thank you.
Mike, can I ask who was leading the charge on the grant application?
So Anne
All right.
Tran, who rose her hand, she'll be presenting. Her
Excellent.
and Karen will be presenting on this. But yeah, Anne took the lead on that. It was very successful.
We look forward to hearing from her. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the board. I'm really excited to be here today to share in our success of the septic to sewer program here in Sacramento. So today we're going to talk about the program goals and the overview, give you some construction updates, and then I'll pass it off to Ann Tran, who's another associate engineer with policy and planning, who will go over the grant funding program summary and then looking ahead at what our next communities are going to be. And my name is Karen, as Mike said. I'm an associate civil engineer with the policy and planning department. So our septic to sewer program goals were to protect regional groundwater and waterways, provide free sewer service for severely disadvantaged communities, and deliver infrastructure without any burden to our existing ratepayers. We also wanted to create lasting community benefits beyond just providing sewer service. So we have constructed 5 different communities. Back in 2019, we had our pilot project in Freeport along the Sacramento River. Recently, we completed Linda Manor and Old Florentown, which we're calling our urban projects. And then we also completed construction in Hood and Franklin, which we're calling our rural projects. Now, this design and construction was managed by policy and planning within Sac Sewer from inception to completion. This included items like an EIR, all the design costs, impact fees, and also the construction of upper and lower laterals, mainline construction, and also property restoration. All right, let's get to the meat of the construction update. So this is the urban project, which we called Linda Manor and Old Florentown. This was a gravity system for both of these communities. Linda Manor is located in Rio Linda. We had 56 properties that we connected and 1 permanent easement that we secured. We had 4,300 feet of new main line that we tied into the interceptor in Elkhorn Boulevard. Our other community in the urban projects was Old Florentown. This is located near Florin and Power Inn. We had 61 properties, 4 easements. This was a bit larger geographical area. So we had a little bit more main line installed of 5,200 feet. And then we also had a commercial property in that neighborhood. For our rural projects, this was a force main system. So Hood is located along the Sacramento River, just a little bit south of Freeport. We had 57 properties that we connected and 7 easements. We had 5.2 miles of 3 to 6 inch force main. This was to get the sewage from the community all the way over to where we could receive it near Elk Grove. The community of Hood required LAFCO annexation because they were outside of our Sac Sewer service area. In the town of Franklin, this is just west of the Elk Grove city limits. We had 28 properties. We did 1.3 miles of new force main, and the western portion of Franklin required LAFCO annexation into our service area. So we put together this chart for our construction costs to date. So Linda Manor and Old Florentown came in around $14.7 million. Hood and Franklin had $24 million. So total project costs for us was $38.7 million. We had a few change orders totaling $0.8 million in Linda Manor and Old Florentown, and Hood and Franklin had $1 million in change orders. The change orders that we received were due to we needed additional monitoring for environmental. We encountered a lot of birds and nests that we had to create buffer zones around. We had additional pavement costs, unforeseen utilities, things like that, or rerouting on public or on private property. Now, you see at the bottom, we've got a SAC DOT reimbursement. One of your consent items was a cost share agreement with Sacramento Department of Transportation. So we'll be receiving about $478,000 in reimbursement for the additional paving. Our contract required half of the road to be paved, but because of the poor condition of those communities' roads, SAC DOT partnered with us, and we were able to do full width pavement on a lot of the communities. All right, next I'm going to pass to Ann Tran, who's going to come up and talk about some of the funding and the next steps in our program.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Serna and members of the board. My name is Ann Tran, and I manage the Septic to Sewer program. The funding strategy for these community projects is to maximize external funding and cover any funding shortfall with Sac Sewer's Confluence grant funds. When we last updated the board in July 2020, we anticipate securing funding for Linda Manor and Old Florentown for a total of $8.6 million. At that time, Franklin and Hood was not financially viable because of the high cost for constructing the 5 miles of pipe. Today, I'm pleased to share that we exceeded those expectations. We got a total of $44.5 million. Thanks to our strong partnership with the state, they provided $36.8 million, which is the largest contribution to these projects. The US EPA grant is congressional direct funding, and thanks to Congresswoman Doris Matsui, we got $3.9 million. Sacramento County provided a combination of a grant, economic bank development credits, and cost share for a total of $3.7 million. And thanks to former Director Don Otoli for securing the ARPA grant, we were shovel-ready when funding opportunities became available for Franklin and Hood. Overall, we secured significantly more funding than we initially anticipated. This slide is a funding matrix of how the 6 funding sources are distributed across the 4 communities. The smaller funding sources, like the US EPA grant and all the Sac County ARPA grant, Econ Bank credits, Sac DOT, cost share, they basically fill in the gaps for items that the state grant did not cover. And as shown in the last column, the Sac Sewer Confluence grant funds will come in to cover any remaining funding shortfall. And
I was just blessing him.
okay.
I need it.
And we anticipate receiving all the reimbursement back by the end of fiscal year 26-27. The septic to sewer projects require extensive community engagement. These communities have an aging population, language barriers, and a general mistrust of government. And unlike a traditional engineering project where we're working in the public right-of-way or Sac Sewer-owned property, we're actually in people's backyards. And so because of that, we just need a lot more outreach to basically handhold them through the entire process. In each phase of the process, we need the property owners to basically sign documents to show their interests, to let us into their homes so that we could locate the septic tanks, and ultimately to let us go in and abandon their septic tank and construct a sewer connection. On average, we engage with each properties about 10 times. And we implemented a robust community engagement plan that include the following: a web page for each community project with their updates, a septic hotline that goes to a shared inbox so that everybody on the team can access and communicate with the property owners. And we sent out newsletters and letters, and we also held public meetings. And once we got to the point where we need more one-on-one interaction with the property owners, we outsourced it and to our consultants for them to help us with the phone calls, the emails, and the door-to-door. To make sure we have consistent messaging, we provided talking points to our consultants. And we also provided translations in Russian, Vietnamese, and Spanish.
Can I ask you a question before you switch slides there about that last point in terms of the languages that were translated? Was that, were those languages kind of self-selected based on how you encountered various households that were speaking those languages, or?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not that we ignored Hmong or we ignored Mandarin or other languages. These are the languages that we encountered.
That's right.
Okay.
So the Russian language was mostly in the Linda Manor area, and the Vietnamese is mostly in the Old Florentine area, and Spanish is in Hood.
Very good. Thank you.
So in summary, we did the funding strategy has been wildly successful. And to date, we have connected 5 severely disadvantaged communities. So that's Freeport, Linda Manor, Old Florentine, Hood, and Franklin, for a total of 219 properties. This includes 2 mobile home parks and a school. And our partnership with Sac DOT allow us to newly pave roads in most of these communities. The total project cost for the 5 communities is $54.8 million, and we secured $48.2 million in external funding. Another way of looking at this is that we leverage $6.6 million of Confluence grant funds to construct $54.8 million of new sewer infrastructure.
Can I ask a question? So you use the term disadvantaged communities, I assume economically disadvantaged communities. Was there any investigation early on as to whether or not there was community development block grant funding that could be thrown in the mix in terms of, at that point, what was seen as the total freight for this project?
Yes, we did a lot of those investigation early on and back in 2019, and some of it, it just did not pan out.
Okay, but it didn't pan out because there was some disqualifying element to the CDBG prerequisites, or does that the supervisor or others, city council people, were choosing to try and direct CDBG funding elsewhere?
It did not pan out because there was some, like you said, things that might have disqualified it. And then by that time, we had shifted our focus mostly on pursuing the state grant. Like I said, that was our biggest funding source. So we threw all our efforts into that one.
I'll just add this as testing our memory a little bit back to 2019, but there was a very robust effort to just like look at every possible grant opportunity, and some of the community block efforts didn't pan out, like you said. There was some disqualifying reason, but the ones that we did find, that's what we pursued, and that's how we got to where we are today.
Excellent, thank you. Director Dickinson?
Thanks, Chair. I just want to go back for a moment to the outreach to the property owners and the residents. I'm curious whether in any instances the outreach, whoever is doing the outreach, the consultant or you, ran into responses of we don't really want to lose our septic system. We like it rural in our location. We don't want to see the sewer extended actually just because we're happy with the status quo. Did you run into that?
Yes, we did. And that's why not all the communities, we didn't have 100% participation.
And so when you encountered that, you just essentially bypassed it and said, okay, fine, we won't worry about connecting you?
That's correct.
And what percentage of properties
It
was that?
depends on the communities. Like, for example, Linda Manor, we only had 2 properties that did not do it. But for Hood, we have a significantly more number, and I can't tell you off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
There is a stub out to each property, though, so it's available in the future.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Director Karpinski-Koska?
Well, basically, Director Dickinson got some of my question. So overall number of the people, because in the staff report it says they can opt for it in the future. You have the cost for 215 people was 48 million, 454 million. So the cost coming up, are they going to pay for it? Is that what the staff report says, that they'll be paying for it themselves?
They will be paid for the on-site costs. So in a lot of cases, we have a stub out for them. So then they will just do the septic conversion on their own property and connect out to the stub out. That's for the force mains of Hood and Franklin. For the urban projects, they will just connect to the pipe that's on the street. In most cases with septic conversion, the highest cost is putting in the main sewer main on the street. So with our Confluence grant program, the individual grant program, they're eligible for up to $20,000, and that will cover the majority of their septic to sewer conversion on their own when they do their own on-site work.
And then we repave the street that we just put in the consent calendar of paving all the streets by this project, and we'll have to redo the streets after we go back in?
They might have to cut into the street if there's no stub out. But in some cases, they might be able to find it without doing it. I'm not really sure.
These projects have been going on for a long time, so if they've made a decision, I suppose if the property ownership changed hands, that might bring somebody in who would say, hey, I want to hook up to the sewer. But it's likely a lot of these are going to sit for a while at least. But we'll have to deal with that.
When's the last time we contacted them for a no thanks? You know, maybe it was a year back or a different owner for the property or...
We actually had property owners that said no thanks like years ago, and then once the contractors on the street, they ran up to us and said, like, sign me up. And we tried.
So maybe another try before you go and pave the street.
We did our best to try to get as many people as possible. I think when we finished our outreach, that was last year, late summer, That was like when we absolutely couldn't do it anymore, because by that time, the contractor is wrapping up and a lot of their heavy equipment is starting to leave the site.
So when they sign up to be on the sewer, is their sewer bill equivalent to what their septic bill was? No?
No, I
Maybe somebody's nodding their
believe
head.
that septic, you know, if you have a septic system that's well-maintained, you maybe pump it out like 2 or 3 times a year, and that could be like maybe $300 or $400. Whereas a sewer bill is slightly more, but they will probably get the sewer lifeline discount.
So I'm just wondering if the people that said no because the cost of maintaining the sewer bill is more than the cost of maintaining however septics work.
I mean, in some cases, when the household median income is $33,000 for the community, to get a new bill for $60 a month or $70 a month, it's pretty high for them, and some people decided not to do it.
Did they know about our programs that help the people? They knew about that? Okay. Well, I guess that answers my question. Thank you.
Mike, did you want to add something?
No, it was answered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's take a look ahead to see what's next. We will continue to submit the reimbursement requests so that hopefully we'll get all our money back by the end of fiscal year 26-27. And we will take another look at the Orange Park Cove community. That community was put on hold back in 2020 because the funding environment wasn't favorable to this community. However, the conditions out there have changed. The local high school, their septic tank has failed. And so now we're currently working with the state to see what options are available for that community project. And in collaboration with Sacramento County's Environmental Management Department, we will begin evaluating the next group of septic communities to identify viable candidates for future grant funding and project implementation. And I am pleased to share that the National Association of Clean Water Agencies awarded the Septic to Sewer program a National Environmental Achievement Award. For some property owners, this program has been truly life-changing. Residents have shared stories of metering their showers and limiting family gatherings because of their failing septic tank could no longer support everyday use. These projects couldn't have come at a better time for these families. And our team is incredibly proud of this accomplishment, and more important, the meaningful difference these projects have made for the communities. And that's our team.
All right, very good. Thank you. Director Suen.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, and I just want to commend you and the entire team for your work. I mean, it's evident from the national award what a great job you did. But just as a fellow civil engineer, I can appreciate trying to do all these things you did in existing conditions, trying to avoid existing utilities and all the challenges that go in with doing infrastructure like this. We build new subdivisions and we're open ground and you lay stuff out. I mean, that's simple compared to what you guys have gone through. And so I just want to take a moment to commend all of you for your hard work in getting us this far. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff before we hear from members of the public? Oh, yeah, Vice Chair Orozco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question, as we look forward to other communities that we're considering for these conversions, if we are we looking outside to other jurisdictions such as, I know we have a lot of different septics in rural communities in West Sacramento and in those areas and as I imagine in some of the other board members' regions as well.
So back in 2019, when we finished the pilot of Freeport, that was actually asked by the board, and we reached out to our contributing agencies at that time to ask them to help us identify the septic communities and to see which ones may be eligible for grant funding. And we couldn't find any at that time. But if we need to revisit that again, that's fine.
So we had communities that weren't eligible for grant funding, or, okay. But it's been quite a few years, yes. So we can really look into that. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Thank you.
All right. See no other questions or comments for staff. Thank you, Ann. Appreciate it. All right. Again, my understanding is that all my speaker slips are for this item. So we'll start with Nicole Morgan. And because of the limited number of speakers, I've set the timer from 2 to 3 minutes per speaker. And also because Mr. Natoli's here and I figured it's the right thing to do, so.
He's watching.
Good morning, Chair Serna and members of the board. My name is Nicole Morgan. I'm a member of the California State Water Resources Control Board. Our mission is to preserve, enhance, and restore the quality of California's water resources and drinking water, public health, and all beneficial uses to ensure proper water resource allocation and efficient use for the benefit of present and future generations. I'm here today to thank Sac Sewer District for their perseverance, forward thinking, and innovation by working with State Water Board staff to create a septic sewer program for 5 communities and potentially more. And so the 4 communities that are wrapping up here serve approximately 3,000 residents that will soon have reliable connection to sanitation services. In addition to our regulatory role, the State Water Board also provides financial assistance to help agencies through low-interest loans and grants addressing aging infrastructure and water quality needs. When the district approached our Division of Financial Assistance years ago, several years ago now, I was one of the, actually I was the manager of the program at that time, and I was in attendance at the meeting. The district had a well-laid-out plan to connect underserved communities near the district service area to provide reliable sanitation services and protect the local groundwater, which the local groundwater can also serve, it has the potential to be the local drinking water supplies. The State Water Board is proud to have contributed over $36.8 million in grant funding to bring these projects to fruition, and I think you guys might have some changes in for your funding to increase it to a couple more million. So, but it is an honor to see the projects for the town of Hood and communities of Old Franklin. Old Flora and Franklin Linda Manor reaching their completion. Over the past few years, the State Water Board has been working on a wastewater needs assessment to better understand the sanitation needs throughout California. And we're reaching the last year of this the start of this endeavor. This here will help us to understand and quantify the needs throughout our state. We were about to come out with our first list of systems throughout the state that may need additional, may have a failing infrastructure. And so district staff have already gone through this and shown leadership within their service area. So again, I would like to thank district staff and working with State Water Board staff to helping approximately 3,000 Californians now have safe sanitation and reaching the human right to sanitation. Again, thank you for the time to address you today.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan. Okay, our next speaker is Viviana Garcia.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello. So good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all here in person as opposed to my desk. Thank you to everyone here for the work you do every day to ensure that Sacramento County continues to move forward in its goals to protect health, advance clean water, and promote a healthy environment. Sewage is not always the first thing that comes to mind when we think about water, clean water, or disease prevention. So thank you for keeping that out of the general conversation. But it is critically important work, and infrastructure like this is a foundation upon which healthy, thriving communities are built. That
Viviana,
is exactly.
can I interrupt? Can you tell us who you're with?
Oh, sorry. I was getting to that. But yes,
Okay.
I'm with Congresswoman Doris Matsui's office.
Great. Thank you.
Also, excuse my voice. But yeah, so that is exactly why I'm here today to present the congressional record in honor of Sac Sewer's nationally recognized septic to sewer conversion program. For too long, families across the greater Sacramento region in communities like Old Florentown, Linda Manor, Hood, Franklin, and Freeport relied on aging septic and in some cases failing septic systems. These systems pose a real threat of contamination to drinking water, groundwater wells, and waterways like Franklin Creek, Stone Lake, Slough, and Sacramento River. Sac Sewer saw that risk and took action. Through this program, Sac Sewer brought reliable public sewer service to these communities at no personal cost to residential property owners. That is no small thing. Connecting to the public sewer can cost a homeowner up to $12,000. By leveraging federal funds and state grants, this district ensured families were not left behind simply because of the age of their infrastructure. On behalf of Congresswoman Doris Matsui, I am proud to share that through the community project funding, the CPF for the EPA grant, a federal program that allows Congress to direct resources to high priority local needs, Congresswoman secured the $3.9 million for the Sac Sewer Septic to Sewer program. This program reflects everything we hope federal investment will accomplish: real improvements to public health, protection of our environment, and reduced financial burden to working families. Clean rivers, safer drinking water, healthier neighborhoods, that is the legacy of this work. On behalf of the people of Sacramento, I want to thank Sac Sewer Board, the executive team, and every staff member that made this project a reality. You are the real reason, public, private, and federal local partnerships work, because you have the vision, the expertise, and the commitment to see it through. It is my honor to present this congressional record in honor of the Septic to Sewer program that you guys have completed.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Garcia, please give our best to the Congresswoman and express our appreciation for the recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Sarna.
Okay, next we have Mario Moreno.
Good morning, and what the flush. You have great social media. Anyway, my name is Mario Moreno. I'm the chairman of the Hood Community Council, and on behalf of our community, we are so thankful for what you all have done. Everybody from the money people, thanks Don, to the engineering, the installation of this whole project. I've been involved with the community my whole adult life, and I'm trying to exceed Don Natoli's years of public service.
Good luck.
So we'll see where it goes. Exactly.
He's still at it.
So anyway, my mom lives in the community of Hood. I have property next to her. We've been there since the 40s, post-war years. Majority of the community is relatives of mine, and so I can answer any questions about why people didn't, and I will address that, and do the installation. But I think we had about 80% participation. There was you did address when I was involved with the septic tank installation back in the late 60s in one of your newsletters with my father as we were digging. So we've seen the progression from outhouse, cesspool, septic tank, and now sewer. And so we're very proud of that. The community is very grateful. We've received, if you come through Hood, you'll see a spanking new roadway. And now we can have these parties that we have, you know, the Super Bowl parties that we are famous for, where we're not going to have to get porta potties out. And that was one of the things that really addressed it, because we're so close to the river, and during high water years, it doesn't really flow. So this has made a drastic improvement. So we just wanted to say thank you and all that. Some of the reasons, your outreach was incredible. I retired from SMUD, and I did public outreach, and the amount of time and effort, and by whether it's publication, being on site, knocking on doors, even though I'm from the government, I'm here to help type of thing, and addressing those people that may or may not wanted to participate. Your outreach was incredible, I'll say that. The installation, the support that we had from project managers on Sac Sewer team has constant communication was great. So I wanted to say thank you on behalf of the community of Hood. It's all good in the Hood. Come on out and come check out our restaurants out there. Thank you so much, and it's all good in the Hood.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Moreno. All right. Last but not least, Mr. Don Natoli.
Well, good morning, Chair Cerna. Good morning, members of the board. I'm really delighted to be here and to be a part of the celebration of a conclusion to a project that's been ongoing for many, many years, actually decades. And as I was listening to Ann's presentation and some of the comments and some of the good questions from your board, I was reflecting on some of the effort that went into making this happen, and it was sustained. Supervisor, now Councilmember Dickinson, and I served on the board in my early years on the Board of Supervisors and on this board. And I remember conversations at that time about some failed septic systems out in the Fair Oaks area, some challenges in the Locke community and certainly in the Freeport community. And now fast forward to the 4 communities that we're celebrating here today. And it wasn't without, I think, a lot of preparation, a lot of effort certainly by district staff, by district board, by all the partners you see here in this chambers here today that are represented, because I think the preparation was so very, very important to teeing this up for the grant opportunities that were pointed out here, the millions of dollars that flowed into this community that certainly employed people as a part of the engineering and design, as a part of the outreach, and certainly as a part of the construction and the completion of the projects. And that's important. That's important to the local economy. But I think most important is the fact that, and I think Mario and Ann both addressed it in their comments, the general, I think, compliment to the communities and to the future of those communities, because we were dealing with a kind of a mixed bag of community outlines. You had rural communities in the Delta, you had older urban settings like Old Florentown, and then suburban communities as well. And each of those characteristics either meant that sewer was closer or not, that you were going to use a gravity system or not, and took some innovation, certainly to Christoph and his team for figuring out how you would deal with some of those community challenges in the Delta, but also in some of the other communities. And I think to say that this was a big project is probably an understatement, because it was a task that required a lot of dedication, a lot of effort ongoing, and certainly the continuity and the preparation that brought it to a good conclusion. And so I'm really delighted to be able to stand here before you and to celebrate with all of you and certainly all the folks in the community. And it wasn't an understatement to say that there was some mistrust and distrust of government. As elected officials in your own right, you know that government certainly can be embraced at times for some of the things that it brings, and obviously this project. But telling people that you're going to do good things and then deliver on them requires a lot of hand-holding at times, and certainly a lot of taking some maybe not so positive feedback about failed attempts in the past. But to say that this was a grand project, I think again is really fitting. And I would just say that I think it brings peace of mind, a good quality of life going forward. And I'm delighted for all of you and to celebrate. And congratulations to all the partners, both past and present, for your good work. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Don. Well, certainly want to thank all the speakers that are here today in their various capacities to help us celebrate this. And as relates to our last speaker, Supervisor Natoli, certainly want to thank him for his leadership, and Supervisors Kennedy and I guess it was just Kennedy and myself at the time during in the immediate time as we crawled out of the pandemic, and we had a unique opportunity to be thoughtful and understand some of the rules and the bookends around, especially the ARPA funding requirements. I remember quite vividly Supervisor Natoli really chiming in early and saying much of what he said from the podium in terms of kind of the historical challenge of getting some of our more mature urban areas and rural communities into our system and off septic. And that is something that should not be lost on all of us. I think all of us in our various respective capacities as city council people and members of the Board of Supervisors had to go through that exercise swiftly to figure out how we're going to prioritize the use of funds to kind of soften the impact from the pandemic in different ways. And so I think today we can all be very proud, at least I'm very proud of our staff and community members, activists in their various parts of Sacramento County where they reside and work and live and play, that we can all agree this is a very, very helpful project, and we hope to see more of it. And again, I want to thank Congresswoman Doris Matsui's office for being here in her role, as well as the Regional Water Quality Control Board. This was definitely the epitome of a team effort, and will continue. With that, Supervisor Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair. I just, we're talking about how wonderful this program is and how successful it has been, but I want to underscore how hard it was, not just the funding and so forth, but we held our first public meeting in Florin. I know exactly when it was because it was election night 8 years ago. So that was 8 years. And I would periodically check in with Prabhakar and then Christoph, how's it going? We'd have meetings, and it was so slow. And being part of it was because of the mistrust of government and people saying, this is just a scam to get me on your billables every month, And I mean, there were a lot of reasons. But what I want to say, though, is that every time I would check in and I would think in the back of my head, has this project fallen off? I mean, is it not going to happen? I mean, staff would continually come back and let me know that they've still been working on it on a daily basis throughout that 8 years. So kudos to staff, because what's not coming out of this conversation is really how hard it was, and that y'all just stuck with it, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other?
Chair
Yes,
Cerna?
Mike.
I'd like to just suggest that we get, to close this out, we get a picture with the board and those public commenters. So if we could have the public commenters come down, that'd be great.
Okay, well, we'll try and fit everyone in the pit here. Do you want it, Mike? Do you want us down? Do you want board members down here? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Get in a group down here. Yep.
I think if you guys are raised, that would be better, and the speakers and stuff.
Okay, why don't we do this? Yeah, some of us will sit and the rest will get in back of us.
I'll stand. 90 minutes worth of presentations.
What's that?
We still have 90 minutes.
We have a, well,
I just want to see it done.
consecutive meetings.
Presentation. Mike, not so tall. Let's see.
Hold on. On this side, can you squeeze in?
Excuse me, Chair Cerna.
This could stand.
We cannot see you guys. Can you all stand up?
I'm all right. It's fine. I'll just do this.
Okay. You go first. I want eyes.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Diane.
All right, Madam Clerk, our next item.
Mr. Chair, our next item is budget workshop for fiscal year 2026-27. Metro Cable, could we get presentation for item 18 up, please?
Good morning, Board, Chair and members of the Board. My name is Chris Sissons, and I'll be presenting the fiscal year 26-27 recommended budget for Sacramento Area Sewer District. This will include the operating and capital budgets for both the treatment and resource recovery and collection system. The total recommended operating budget is $237.8 million for treatment and resource recovery and $134.2 million for collection system. This includes salaries and benefits and non-labor expenses for a combined $372 million, which is a 10% increase over the current year's adopted budget. For labor cost drivers, the salary and benefits are projected to increase by $10.1 million, which is a 6.5% increase over the current year's adopted budget. The cost increase includes a 3.3% COLA in line with the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics 2025 Employment Cost Index, an increase in retirement, and previously approved equity adjustments and group insurance share of cost. Additionally, the increase includes a request for 21 new positions across Sac Sewer, which are listed in Appendix A of the budget book, and would bring the total position count to 851. Supporting documentation for each requested position has been included as Attachment B of this agenda item. For non-labor cost drivers, service and supplies are budgeted to increase by approximately $24.2 million, which is a 14.7% increase over the current year's adopted budget. Some of the main cost drivers of the increase include a $10.6 million increase in chemicals, a $4.8 million increase in insurance premiums and claims, a $4 million increase in interfund charges, a $1.4 million increase in safety program services, and some of these increases are partially offset by a $2.1 million decrease in temporary staffing services. The total recommended capital budget is $426.7 million for treatment and resource recovery and $59.5 million for collection system. This totals a combined $486.2 million, which is a 9.7% decrease over the current year's adopted budget. Of that, $340.2 million is budgeted for capital projects and related expenses, and $146 million is budgeted for debt service on outstanding bonds and state revolving fund loans. A few of the major capital projects for fiscal year 26-27 are as follows. The Harvest Water Project at $85.7 million, the Central Interceptor Rehab Project at $58.9 million, the Biogeneration Facility of $49 million, Biosolids Disposal Projects of $13.7 million, Biosolids Recycling Facility Improvements of $9.7 million, and the Chiller Replacement Project at $9.2 million. The financing sources displayed represent the sources of funds that will be used to finance Sac Sewer's operating and capital budgets for both treatment and resource recovery and collection system. Sac Sewer's primary financing sources are monthly service charges projected at $522 million and grants at $175.3 million, making up a combined 80% of the overall financing sources. There's a projected use of bond proceeds of $80.5 million for treatment and resource recovery projects, and a projected drawdown of $1.3 million of unreserved cash to fully fund the collection system budget. The combined total of all Sac Sewer's financing sources for operating capital is projected to be $869.7 million. So that concludes the presentation for the recommended 26-27 budget. We'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have, and appreciate any feedback or additional input for the board prior to the final budget, which is going to be brought to the board at the next meeting on June 17th.
Very good. Thank you. I have Director Kaplan in the queue. Before we get to Director Kaplan, however, can you go back to the previous slide, please? I want to make sure I understand the asterisk. Includes projected cash reserve contributions. How much was that again?
It would be in the budget book.
$1.5 million?
Let me see. I'd have to pull it out of the budget book. I can grab that for you or send that to you.
So again, remind us, what is our reserve policy?
Tip, I don't know if you can speak to that. I believe it's 25%.
So we have several reserves, and each one has different drivers. For our general reserve, it's 25% of our operating costs. We have a reserve for the Confluence program. We have reserves for just capital projects. So each one has a different set, and for most of them, they were set at some point, and we escalate them to keep up with inflation. And so every year we look at the required levels for each of those different reserves and determine how much we need to contribute to keep them at the policy level for that particular reserve.
So 25%, that's a pretty healthy reserve.
It is. It is very healthy.
But that's not the only reserve account that I'm hearing you say we have. What are some of the other thresholds?
I don't have all the reserves off the top of my head. If we could look through the book, but if anyone...
Well, let me add just that a lot of the other ones are not set on a percentage. They're more set to fund a certain thing. So they're...
So capital? I mean, like capital projects?
For example, there is a fund for the Metro Air Park to fund future improvements to that area. It's a dollar amount that's set, and then it's inflated each year, so we make sure that we have enough. As an example, there's a reserve for the septic conversion program. Again, it was a set dollar amount. It was actually based on before we got as much grant funding we had as we ended up getting for those septic conversion projects. So that has a dollar amount that's probably pretty healthy.
We also have reserves for a rate stabilization, just for that event in where we are not able to raise rates to keep up. We have a reserve before we get to the general reserve. So.
Okay, where all this is leading, I think you're about to answer my question, but before you do, the reason for this line of questioning for me is I saw, I think in the introductory slide or the second slide, a request for 21 newly filled positions. I assume those are currently on our ledger as vacancies. And then I see on this slide that we are going to use some cash reserve contribution. Is that for the same? Is that like for like? In other words, is that particular cash reserve available for personnel?
So to clarify, the reserves shown here are not part of our designated reserves. What we call it unreserved cash. That's just part of our working capital cash that is not reserved for a particular purpose. So this does not include a drawdown on our designated reserves.
Okay, but then you can probably appreciate why I'm asking the question, especially given the fact that our kind of native jurisdictions that we represent here, we're looking at going the other direction, unfortunately, in terms of balancing our respective budgets for the 26-27 fiscal cycle. So when I see a request for 21 new positions, I guess I have an elevated sensitivity to really wanting to understand, maybe getting a little bit more in the weeds than I might otherwise be, to understand how we're doing that. And that's why I had that question about understanding reserves a little bit better.
When you say how we're doing that, as far as, so there's the justification for why, and then there's the how do we fund it.
I'm not arguing with the why. I'm sure we do need them. I mean, there's a reason why we have vacancies there in the first place. But
you're asking how we're funding it.
Correct.
Yeah. So those are the current budget and already approved rate increases cover that. So the revenue is there.
Okay.
That's built into the budget.
Okay, but we're not using reserves necessarily for that purpose?
No.
Okay, that answers my question.
I just wanted to add, there's a designated reserve schedule for those designated cash reserves listed on page 58 and 59. So like the rate stabilization, the general, there are tables in there in the budget book that'll reference all of those.
Thank you. Director Kaplan.
Thank you, Chair Cerna. If you go back a little bit, looking at where we talk about the $24.2 million increase in services and supplies, I really just want to highlight the $10 million, which is 40% increase in chemical. And can you just detail that a little bit more? Because it seems like I've brought this up. This is maybe the third year in a row that we are seeing a massive increase in the chemical amount that is needed. And it also then leads into, have we adjusted with our biosolids and the chemicals needed, because that was an unrelated expense when it wasn't dissolving as need be.
Going to ask Sunny to cover that. There's quite a story to the chemical costs.
Yes, you recall correctly. We've had extreme volatility in our chemical supply market as of recently. For example, as early as 2017, the cost for chlorine itself was 62 cents a gallon, rising sharply to 22 to $2.40 a gallon, temporarily being reduced back to $2 a gallon through a local provider, and then more recently increased again beyond that. And it's really dependent on the market and the local provider. We had a local ag provider, Thatcher, who was providing us chemicals, who no longer is in that market. So we're relying on really one manufacturer of the chemical in the Bay Area, and then two trucking companies that provide that. So we have seen a significant increase in chemicals across the board, as you mentioned, $10 million just in hypo. We've looked at ways to reduce those chemicals. We use 30% of our hypo in a pre-chlor. We've recently completed a pilot to use bioxide instead of chlorine, which will offset about almost 30% of our costs. We'll save about a $5 million savings. We're also looking at other measures to reduce chemicals, some of which I have here. Alternate disinfectants like parasitic acid, although those aren't currently allowed, we can advocate for them. We're looking at rail delivery versus truck delivery, which we've looked at several times in the past, but we're continuing to look at that. We've also done a significant amount of supplier outreach ahead of establishing the most recent contract. We contacted over 30 providers in the western states. The problem with hypo, which is our most costly chemical, is the distance in which you can truck it and maintain its integrity is challenging. We can get special rail cars, but that's a cost as well, but we continue to look into that. In addition, we're looking at, technology, AI, to optimize post-chlorination. And then we're re-looking at reevaluation of some other disinfection alternatives that we evaluated in 2013 and again in 2023, potentially UV combined with chlorine, which was not decided on at the onset of the EcoWater project. We went full chlorine by trucking. But though some of those technologies may prove now that are higher cost, they may be in combination with liquid chlorine, something like UV or ozone might be viable. And we're looking into those things as well.
Thanks, Sunny. And I really appreciate, because your team, Christoph, goes above and beyond in looking at the latest in technology, science, how can we do this? So I appreciate you guys detailing it. It's the cost we have to deal with, but knowing that your team is looking at what are other ways we can solve this despite the restrictions with the chemicals that are being used and how we use them and the life cycle of those chemicals. But I just wanted to call that out specifically because that's a $10 million cost, and that's a lot for 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Roscoe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as a follow-up to that line of questioning, a few years ago we had this discussion when we saw the first quadrupling of the chlorine costs, and there was a buzz around whether or not we could consider doing something in-house or at least even be a facilitator of, distribution for these kinds of chemicals, since there's such a demand for it. Is that still an option that's on the table, or has that ship sailed?
No. That what you're likely referring to is on-site generation of the chemical itself, and we did evaluate that in 2013 and more recently in 2023. That has a significant capital cost. We are continuing to evaluate it. There is a significant power draw, a significant land use, and a significant increase in salinity that pushes up against our permit on salinity. But probably the most important concern there is triggering a CalARP accidental release program. Getting back into a CalARP program is very costly operationally for Sac Sewer. So we got to be very careful in making that decision. But that's, given the volatility and the cost, that's something we continue to look at alongside all these other cost-cutting measures.
Thank you.
Director Sander.
Is that salinity added to effluent that we're worried about, and is that a byproduct of generating our own chlorine?
Yes, that getting and dealing with that salinity in our effluent gets us above or closer to about 80% of our limit threshold in our effluent discharge.
Okay, so the chlorine we buy is less sodium content, presumably, than that which we would generate. Is that what this comes
Yes.
down to? Okay, interesting. I might want to know more about that.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from board members? All right, see none, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay, very good. Again, thanks to staff, and this is a preview of coming attractions, is it not? We're going to be back at the next meeting for adoption?
Yep, that's correct.
Very good, thank you. Thank you. Next item, please.
Mr. Chair, item number 19 is authorized documents required to complete the issuance of the 2026 bonds and for the Director of Finance or the District Engineer to execute and deliver the related documents as required.
Can I get the slides for item 19?
It's okay, but may we get the slides for this presentation, please? They're working.
Well, good morning, Chair Senna and members of the board. Excuse my voice. It just turned out yesterday I started having a sore throat, so it's not exactly where it's supposed to be. I should get some water. Sorry about that. I'm here to present our proposal to do a refinancing on the collection system. About 2 years ago, we did a refinancing on the treatment system, where we really simplified our credit portfolio, our debt portfolio on that side. We had variable rate debt, we had swaps. So we took all that out, and it's all fixed rate, and it's much more predictable. We're trying to do the same thing here for the collection system. It was already much simpler. We only had 2 series of outstanding bonds, and we're proposing to just have one fixed rate. One other complication we have on the collection system is the biggest chunk of our debt is the Buy America bonds, which come with what they call the make-whole provision, which makes it very expensive to refinance. And so in this transaction, we would get rid of that and get one series of just regular type bonds. And so because of the complexity of the refinancing Buy America bonds, they're very sensitive to interest rates because a movement in interest rates kind of has an opposing effect. It's because of the make whole, to make an investor whole, you have to pay them all the future interest they would have earned if they held that bond to maturity. So to pay them today, you have to discount that future series of interest earnings that they would have gotten. And if interest rates go up, the discount rate is high, so the present value is low. But the funds that you need to redeem the bond, the principal value of the bond, it goes higher if interest rates go. So there's that. So it makes it very sensitive. And so we've been tracking this about a year or more. And we are right there where the math makes sense. And so we're in a very kind of Goldilocks window right now to execute this transaction. And so the timing is of the essence. Originally, we had proposed to price this transaction last week, May 20th. The week from last week to now, interest rates have moved, but and they have not moved, positively, but we're still in that part where it makes economic sense. So anyway, let me get through my slides here to give some more context. So these are the two series of bonds that we are trying to refund. The first is the Series 2015 bonds, and then we have the 2010 Buy America bonds that I alluded to. Those are the maturity dates, and the 2015 we would be maturing in about 10 years, and the 2010 America bonds in about 15 years from now. And those are the coupon rates that we pay on the existing bonds. The total debt that we owe on these two series is $152.3 million. So that's the amount we would be refunding. Kind of hashing through some of the things I already alluded to. So we would be issuing out Series 2026 bonds on a tax-exempt basis. And with those proceeds from those bonds, we would refund the 2015s and the 2010s. And our biggest drivers for doing this are those two goals here, to generate savings, of course. Our target is normally around 3% savings. We might not hit that rate this time, but we think it's still justified because we would be eliminating another risk, which is a sequestration risk. So the Buy America bonds came with a promise. They're not tax exempt. They came with a promise from the federal government that they would subsidize our interest cost to keep them competitive with tax exempt bonds. But due to any financial problems that might happen at the feds, we could get that subsidy reduced, which it was in 2013. And as we project the federal financial situation, that risk, I don't think, has gone away. And so if we refinance out of the Buy America bonds, we would take away that risk and have our fixed rate bonds that would not be subject to any decisions at the federal level. So those are the two main reasons we're trying to go ahead with this. And that's kind of gives a summary of where the money will come from and how we will pay for these outstanding bonds. So our bond proceeds from the 2026 series that we'll be issuing would bring in about $157 million. And up to May this year, we have accrued about $7 million in interest that we would have paid on the existing bonds. So that accrued interest, which we're already owing on the existing bonds, would be part of the process that we would use to fully redeem the two series of outstanding bonds. In the lower part, I show that. So to redeem the 2010s, our estimate right now is about $121 million. And to redeem the 2015s, it will be almost $43 million. And some costs for issuance, our underwriters, rating agencies, and bond counsel, and all the team that helped put the transaction together, about $600,000 for a total use of about $164 million. These numbers are a little bit sensitive as interest rates move. So by the time we price this transaction in June, that there might be some movement, but we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that it's not too adverse to make the transaction uneconomical. And this just highlights some of some key numbers around the financing. So the bond proceeds will bring in about $157, and we're refunding $163 to pay off those two outstanding series. One good thing about this transaction is we're not extending out the amount of time we're going to pay the existing bonds. So we're keeping the maturities the same. So we're paying off the debt when we're supposed to pay it, but we'll pay slightly less than we were going to pay. And so that's where the advantage is. Our all interest costs are really good, still less than 4%. And you can see our estimate on how the debt savings that we'll be able to get on an annual basis, almost $1 million less. In present value terms, that comes down to about $500,000 in net present value savings. And that's the end of my presentation. So if there are any questions, I'll take those.
Thank you, Mr. Banda. Any questions for staff? Don't see anyone in the queue.
Just one note. The Financing Authority did approve this at the last meeting, and so it's only the resolution from Sac Sewer that's now required.
Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comments.
Okay, Director Villegas, did I hear you make the motion? Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
I'm sorry, who was it moved by? Villegas. And second?
Director Dickinson is struggling to get his name in the queue. All right.
Got to hit the right button. I'm just curious, does this, with this refunding, you're not necessarily getting an interest advantage on the 2015 bonds, is that right? Or am I misinterpreting this? Because in looking at the summary of the bonds to be refunded, the interest rate, I gather, is between 3% and 5% on the 2015 bonds, and you're looking to get a true interest rate on the whole set at 3.18 or percentage total value at 3.24. So I'm just curious, are you getting interest savings on the 2015 bonds?
Yes, actually, we're getting the most savings is on the 2015 bonds. It's the way it's structured. You play around with the face value and the actual price that is paid. That's where the interest. So although we're paying a coupon rate of about 5%, our true interest cost will be about 3%, which is lower than what we're paying currently. Our true interest cost on the current outstanding 2015.
Okay, so your interest rate is up at closer to 5% than 3%.
Right, currently.
So that's okay. I mean, that was what was curious because you had that range.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. We have a motion to adopt staff recommendation. Do we have a second? Did I already ask? Okay, it's been seconded by Director Suen. Please vote.
All right. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Your motion passes unanimously, 12 to nothing.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Mr. Chair, item 20 is cost of labor adjustment for fiscal year 2026-27.
Good morning, Chair and board members. I'll make this fairly brief. This is part of our compensation policy. It's how we look at cost of living adjustments over the course of the year. So this would be for fiscal year 26-27. In our compensation policy, it refers to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics employment cost index, and it's actually tied to the state and local government workers. So we use that number, and that is it's built into our policy. It's also referenced in each of our labor agreements. This year it is 3.3%, and so we are recommending that as our COLA for 26-27.
Okay. Thank you. Any directors have questions? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion.
So second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Your motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is item 21, resolution of intention to lien delinquent sewer service charges and set public hearing for July 22nd, 2026.
Good morning, Chair. I will take this one. I don't have a presentation, but I'll just share a few remarks. So this is the item we bring every year. This is our district's participation in the county's TITA plan, where we get our delinquent charges moved over to the property tax roll for collection. So every year, in about towards the end of April, CABS, who is our billing partner, they send out notices to property owners who are delinquent on the source charges, essentially alerting them to the fact that those charges will be placed on the tax roll. And so here, for this item, we're asking approval for us to participate in the plan and have those charges transferred to the property tax and have a hearing set for July 22nd. The hearing, gives an opportunity to those affected property owners to protest if they have any, disagreement against those charges that have been communicated to them. This year, about 20,813 accounts were identified at the end of April for transfer, with delinquencies to be transferred, representing about 6.29% of our customers and 16 million in total delinquent charges. I wouldn't say the numbers has been trending up, so that's something that's concerning that we're watching, but it's also not very surprising given how, the cost of living is going up. It looks like it is challenging our customers. But generally, across the last few years, we've noted that the number of customers are notified we get some activity, some pay downs. So by the time the charges are transferred to the property tax roll, which happens about early August, that number tends to go down. So we hope for that trend continues. But that's the summary of our item. So we're asking for adoption of the resolution for us to lien these charges and to set a public hearing for 22nd July. So thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay, okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Kaplan? You abstaining? Are you abstaining?
She's saying she voted.
You voted? Oh, okay. All right, your motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item, please.
The next item is 22, introduce proposed collection system sewer impact fee and liquid waste hauler disposal charge adjustments and amendments to the Sacramento Area Sewer District Collection System Ordinance and Treatment and Resource Recovery Ordinance.
Morning.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. I'm Vyomini Upadhyay, Senior Civil Engineer in Policy and Planning Department. I'll be introducing the amended SAC Sewer Ordinance today. In today's presentation, I'll go over the background and purpose of the Sacramento Area Sewer District ordinances, share the structure of the 2026 ordinance amendments, present the proposed collection system fee updates and liquid waste hauler charges, outreach and next steps for the 2026 ordinance amendments, recommendations for board action, with time for questions and answers. Over the years, staff has periodically brought amendments to the treatment and resource recovery and collection system ordinance amendments to your board to improve clarity and consistency, reflect any operational changes and regulatory changes, update rates and fees. The last SAC Sewer ordinances were updated on July 9, 2025. 2026 ordinance amendments merged the two ordinances that we have into one unified ordinance. We were legally merged in 2024, and here we are with the ordinance amendments to merge. The title for the new proposed ordinance is the Sacramento Area Sewer District Ordinance, SAC Sewer Ordinance for short. It's divided into 4 different parts. Part 1 is general provisions, which lays out scope, definitions, abbreviations, and administrative framework. Part 2 is the treatment and resource recovery requirements. Part 3 is collection system requirements. And Part 4 includes adoption and implementation details. This new structure allows for clear, accessible, and user-friendly document. It reduces regulatory complexity. It eliminates duplicate provisions and simplifies compliance and understanding of SAC Sewer's governing rules. With this amendment, we're also proposing updates to the SAC Sewer impact fees for collection system. The last collection system fee impact fees were updated on April 27, 2022. The table here shows the current and the next 2 proposed impact fees for infill and expansion for different customer categories: residential, commercial, and industrial. You may want to note that the industrial impact fees are going to be changed from flow-based to acreage-based with this update. So the collection system impact fees were updated based on the methodology that has been approved by this board previously. Since 2022, we have updated the fees to reflect current financial information, inflation, and operations data. The industrial fees were last updated in 2007, so we brought them up to current costs, and now they are aligned with residential and commercial customers for fee parity. With the new industrial fee updates on the acreage base, it actually lowers the cost for new industrial customers. Now there is going to be a separate fees for the expansion area, where before it was the same for all areas. It also creates a net positive impact because there is no additional fees that are due for existing customers. Additionally, we're eliminating rental fees for groundwater remediation dischargers because they already discharge into fully assessed connections.
Before you go to the next slide, and maybe this is a question for Christoph. So the industrial fee hasn't been updated in nearly 2 decades. Is that an artifact of the fact that the district operated under the county umbrella, and so there was, I'm suspecting, some economic development concerns that were kind of consistently expressed, and that may have kind of influenced an intention to maybe keep those fees maybe lower than where they should have been?
Yeah, I think to sort of summarize it, I think it's several things. Partly just from an economic development perspective, pressures to keep, to basically be able to attract new industrial customers, which is not an easy thing to do. In addition, there's been a lot of changes to our programs during that time period, and it complicated what do we do with industrial, and so sometimes it was just kicked down the road a little bit as well. And so we've kind of finally gotten to a place where we can breathe, and we feel like this is not going to have a significant impact on the industrial community, and it's simplifying and consolidating with kind of how we do everything else.
To that end, has there been outreach to our Sacramento County Economic Development and excuse me, maybe GSAC or some of the other economic development organizations around the region or the county? Looks like someone is being coaxed to come to the podium.
Yeah, Linda Stevens leads our waste source control section.
Great. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, we did outreach to the economic development centers, and because it's a net decrease in cost, so new customers will actually have a lower cost than if we were charging them by flows. It's a benefit, so they were on board with that. It helps in the new areas where they are attracting customers.
Great. So hopefully they run with the ball and use it as an incentive, is what I'm hearing?
Right.
Yeah, there's an opportunity there to publicize that. Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you. Another update with this ordinance amendments is the proposed liquid waste hauler disposal charges. So these are charges to haulers for disposal of waste, and there are specific type of waste that we're listing. As you've heard, that we're installing, the Biogen installation is underway. Sac-Sur is looking to reopen its biogas enhancement facility. To that purpose, we're proposing to incentivize the liquid waste haulers that bring fog and other high-strength waste to our biogas enhancement facility. Staff is proposing to add another category, which is the pre-consumer high-strength organic waste, which would include soda waste, brewery waste, dairy processing waste. And we're proposing to have a little bit of a range here for these 2 categories. So for the post-consumer high-strength waste, we will start at 5 cents, and for pre-consumer high-strength waste, we will start at 1 cent. We're also requesting district engineer to have the authority to change these liquid waste hauler disposal charges within this board-approved range. The charge for the fog and the septage is unchanged. The charge for the septage is unchanged, and the charge for fog at the Roseville receiving station is unchanged. Okay. Outreach and communication. Staff has completed outreach and communication with various interested parties. Staff reached out to Building Industry Association and Liquid Waste Haulers and shared the proposed fee updates with them. Staff has also notified interested parties and local jurisdictions within the service area. We have also posted these amendments to the Sac Sewer website and other public outlets. Next steps on this ordinance amendments is to continue engagement and outreach with stakeholders. We would like to continue to move this item to June 17th board meeting for adoption. The ordinance will be effective 30 days after the adoption, which is proposed to be July 17, 2026, and the fees will be effective 60+ days, which is proposed to be September 1st, 2026. There are a number of board recommended actions for this board. Sac Sewer recommends, and I'll go through these, introduce the 2026 board amendments, ordinance amendments to this at this board meeting, rescind Sac Sewer treatment and resource recovery ordinance and collection system ordinance effective the date the new ordinance becomes effective, waive full reading of the amended ordinance, authorize June 17, 2026 board meeting, direct publication of summary of ordinances amendments, continue 2026 ordinance amendment item to June 17th board meeting. With that, I'll take any questions.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone from the public that signed up to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comment.
All right, very good. I'd entertain a motion.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Your motion passes unanimously.
Very good, thank you. Next item.
Next item is item 23, AB 2561, Local Public Employees Vacant Positions Presentation.
Good morning.
All right, good morning, Chair Cerna, members of the board. My name is Christopher Borders. I'm the district's Human Resources Manager, and I appreciate the opportunity to present our annual update on Sac Sewer's workforce status. Today's presentation fulfills the requirements of Assembly Bill 2561, which was enacted to increase transparency into staffing levels and hiring challenges within public agencies. Under Government Code 3502.3, Sac Sewer is required to report publicly on vacancies, recruitment, and retention efforts before the adoption of each fiscal year's budget. So today's presentation will cover vacancy trends across 2024 and 2025. It'll highlight changes within each bargaining unit, and will also identify areas that may require some targeted attention. So here's a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. First, I'll provide a summary of what AB 2561 is and the intent behind the law. I'll also review Sac Sewer's responsibilities under the statute, including both the annual reporting obligations and additional requirements that may apply when vacancies exceed certain thresholds. And also, finally, we'll go through our data, our district-wide staffing levels, vacancy counts, vacancy rates, and changes in budgeted full-time positions across each employee group. Hopefully this structure will show both big picture trends and also the details within each rep unit. So first, a little bit about AB 2561. This, AB 2561 took effect on January 1st, 2025, and applies to all local public employers in the state of California. The purpose of the law is to ensure that governing boards receive regular updates on staffing levels and workforce health. This is particularly important because persistent vacancies can impact service delivery, employee workload, and long-term operational planning. The statute requires that this presentation be held publicly at least once per fiscal year prior to final budget adoption. This ensures transparency, supports data-driven decision-making, and allows recognized employee organizations to participate in this process. So every year, Sac Sewer must complete 3 primary reporting tasks. First, we must present the current status of our vacancies across the entire district. Second, we must describe our recruitment and retention efforts, what strategies we may have used, where we're showing improvement, and where barriers may still exist. And then third, we must identify any policy or procedural changes that could help streamline our hiring process and make Sac Sewer more competitive in attracting talent. These requirements ensure that both the board and our workforce representatives have a clear understanding of our staffing environment each year. There are a few additional obligations that the district has, in addition to the annual requirements that I just mentioned. AB 2561 requires more detailed reporting when certain vacancy thresholds are met. If vacancies within any single bargaining unit reach or exceed 20% of authorized full-time positions, then the recognized employee organization and the recognized employee organization requests it. The district must provide additional data to support those activities. This includes details such as the total number of vacancies within the unit, information on the applicant pool, average time to fill positions, and opportunities to improve compensation or working conditions. This provision ensures that units with higher vacancy rates receive focused attention and that any structural recruitment or retention issues are addressed directly. So this slide looks at our district-wide staffing trends. These are numbers as of December 31st, 2025, which is the end of the reporting year. So we do see gradual but meaningful progress in this area. From 2024 to 2025, the number of authorized full-time positions increased from 813 to 830. Importantly, with this increase, total vacancies decreased from 108 to 99. This means our overall vacancy rate improved from 13.28 last year to 11.93 by last year, 2024, I apologize, to 11.93% at the end of 2025. This positive trend reflects ongoing work within human resources and throughout the district to strengthen recruitment outreach, refine hiring processes, and improve candidate engagement. Turning now to vacancy counts by employee group, we can see a mixed but informative set of results. First, Local 39, which is our largest workforce group, saw a very small increase in vacancies from 38 to 39. The Sacramento Area Sewer District Employees Association represents two of our groups, our supervisory group and our administrative group. And in the administrative group, those positions saw a more significant increase in vacancies, rising from 9 to 16. This is an area where the district and human resources will continue monitoring recruitment activity and difficulty to make sure that we get candidates and are able to fill those positions. Vacancies in the supervisory group, which is the other side of SASDEA, remained unchanged at 39, though in a couple of slides, we'll see how the changes in authorized positions can affect the vacancy rate. The PEA group, or the Professional Engineers Group, which consists of professional engineers and scientists, remains steady at 8 vacancies. And just as a note, employee groups 4, 6, and 9, which are our management, executive, and general unrepresented classes, are not part of AB 2561 reporting, so they are excluded from this presentation at the moment. So this slide shows how budgeted full-time positions changed from 2024 to 2025. We see that there was a small increase in Local 39. They increased from 386 positions to 388, which generally reflects stable operational needs, meaning that there wasn't a lot of need for change or additional staffing in that area. Administrative positions increased a little bit more noticeably from 199 positions to 210, which may account for the higher vacancy count that we saw on the previous slide. Supervisor positions actually decreased from 104 positions to 91, which affects the vacancy rate even when the number of vacancies stays the same because we're dealing with a different number of overall positions. And then in the PEA group, positions decreased from 53 to 49. So in smaller units like that group, even minor changes in staffing can have a meaningful impact on vacancy rates. These FTE adjustments help put vacancy trends in context and may also highlight areas where position reallocation or reclassification could help improve hiring outcomes. Looking at our vacancy rates by employee group, we see that Local 39 experienced a slight increase, still manageable though, so from 9.84% to 10.17%. In the administrative group, we see an improvement in the vacancy rate from 19.6% to 18.92%. Still a little bit more, or it's not quite ideal. The number, we talked about the 20% threshold and when additional reporting is required. We're hovering right around that number, but not to the point that there's a trigger for our employee represented groups. We hope to see that number come down. Our supervisor vacancies increased slightly from 8.65% to 9.02%. Again, this is influenced by the reduction in authorized positions. And then finally, our PEA group experienced the largest improvement, moving from 30.19% vacancies in 2024 to 22.79% in 2025. This is significant progress, though this group still exceeds that 20% threshold that we were just talking about. So this is, again, one of those rep units where we want to make sure to pay close attention to our recruiting efforts to try and get that number back down below 20%. One challenge that we face with that is that the professional classifications or our engineers often face unique recruitment challenges due to competitive labor markets and the specialization and skill that's required for those jobs. And so, again, there's an increased need for us to increase our outreach and try to develop more robust lists and fill those positions with skilled candidates. So we talked just a moment ago about the PEA group and how they exceed the threshold. Two classifications within that unit remain at or above the 20% vacancy threshold. That's the Associate Electrical Engineer and the Scientist 2. This was as of the end of 2025, and I'll talk about that Scientist 2 in just a moment. Again, these roles remain challenging to fill due to their specialized technical requirements and strong competition from public agencies, utilities, private engineering firms, and environmental organizations. In 2025, we implemented several targeted strategies to improve recruitment. Equity adjustments for key classifications became effective in July of 2025. We also expanded advertising and increased our presence on technical recruitment platforms. We also held multiple on-site job fairs. Together, these efforts contributed to an estimated 8% reduction in PEA vacancies. That's the PEA is the acronym for the unit. So now we're seeing solid progress. The Scientist 2 position I referred to a moment ago was filled in February. And while this slide reflects that there are 6 Associate Civil Engineer vacancies, this was as of the end of 2025. One of those positions has since been filled. So we now have 5 vacancies out of 44 authorized positions in that job class. And for the Associate Electrical Engineer position, we have 1 vacancy out of 3 authorized positions. And we actually just opened a recruitment examination for that job class so that we can work to fill that position. That opened on Cinco de Mayo, actually. So we're actively interviewing for 2 additional Associate Civil Engineer positions. And again, that newly open Associate Electrical Engineer exam is expected to broaden the applicant pool for that particular job class. And that concludes the formal part of the presentation. So if you have any questions, I am glad to try to address them.
Very good. Thank you for a very thorough presentation. Director Soon.
Thank you, Chair. We appreciate the information as well. I was just curious in terms of your pathways into these positions. Do you have internship programs with our local universities that perhaps could lead into these entry level and then associate level positions?
Let me speak for Director Suen a little bit more specifically. how about Cal Poly? St. Louis Obispo.
I appreciate that, fellow Mustang. Absolutely, absolutely. Cal Poly, great, but I'm because we're local. I'm just wanting, just for easing of your challenge. I mean, even Sac State and UC Davis are right nearby, but I would like to plug Cal Poly too. But generally, what do you have available?
So my response to that is this. I will admit to you that I'm new to the district, but I want to make sure that, in response to that question, that we're getting the information that you need. So I don't want to get in the habit of deferring to our executives, but I will, in this case, defer to Matt.
I wanted to see him struggle a little bit being new, but thank you. Yes, we do have internships in specific areas and students. We do have a partnership with UC Davis and Sac State.
Okay, I mean, because I recognize there's only very few of these positions, but they're out there. I mean, I run across them all the time, electrical, mechanical, and I often think, who's hiring mechanical and electrical specifically. So I'm just there. My hope is that there will be people out there that you can reach, so this won't be vacant too long.
We've actually we have a lot of flexibility there. So if we have a need, a student intern, we still have that classification, but we do a lot of them through contract now. It works better for us. But I don't need to get approval from the board to do that, so we can bring someone in. And it's a perfect opportunity to give them a chance to learn a lot, and also for us to get a chance to find out if they're a good employee or will be a good employee. And those good ones, of course, we're encouraging them to get their degree, get their license, all those things.
Mm-hmm. So and just for folks that are watching, as I recall, from my days at the county, associate is a licensed engineer, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking for internships to get them in here and start building their, growing the fruit from the tree rather than pulling from the barrel type of thing. So, okay, well, it's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Soon. Any other questions for staff? All right, very good. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay. Is this just a presentation, or are we taking action? No action.
No action.
All right.
No action on the item.
All right, very good. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Mr. Chair, item 24 is proposed salary schedule for finance manager, controller, and internal auditor.
Good morning, Chair Cerna, members of the board. We're at the home stretch here, so I'm going to make this brief. I'm going to do a brief overview on item 24 for the proposed salary schedule for finance manager, controller, and internal auditor. As a result of the Sac Sewer's transition from the county, the finance department took on new responsibilities that they were previously provided by the county. With the addition of these new responsibilities, our current finance classifications of senior accounting manager and accounting manager no longer fully reflect the scope and complexity of the finance department's responsibilities. As a result, our wonderful HR department established new classifications and conducted a job classification and salary study with our benchmark agencies for controller, finance manager, and internal auditor. These positions will be filled through a competitive selection process. So Sac Sewer is recommending that your board approve the salary schedule for the controller, finance manager, and internal auditor positions, and delegate the authority to the district engineer to reallocate current positions to establish these new positions. Thank you.
Thank you. Is up for a vote?
Do we have anyone signed to speak on this matter?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
I'm sorry, Maggot, who moved in second?
Director Dickinson, who was the seconder?
I think it was Rossetti.
Villegas was seconder.
Thank you. You may vote. Your motion passes unanimously, 10-0.
Okay.
Mr. Kennedy?
Did Director Kennedy vote?
It's not showing up
Huh.
here. Did you vote?
Okay.
Director Kennedy? Okay. Well, your motion passes unanimously.
All right, very good. Next item, please.
The next item is item 25, miscellaneous district engineer matters.
Just a quick update, just so everyone is aware, June 17th is our next board meeting. That is not, it is not the second. Normally we're on second and fourth Wednesdays because of Board of Supervisors budget and AV systems that came in and out of play. We ended up on June 17th. So make sure that's on your calendar. I'm sure Laurice will also be making sure that it's on everyone's calendar. We've got to have a quorum there because of our budget in particular.
Yeah, because the alternative would be a special meeting, right? Which
That
will
would be the
throw
next-
everyone's schedules into chaos. So
Yeah.
it's in everyone's best interest to be here on the 17th. So.
And that's all I had.
All right,
Chair,
very-
I need to let you. I'm gonna let you all right now. I won't be here. I'll be out of town. So
Okay.
I'm just fully noticed. Everybody else be here.
We will be taking a pre-roll call to make sure we've got enough.
So, Laurice, you're going to be busy making sure that folks are going to be here, and they're probably going to want to do that this week.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, next item, please.
Next item is miscellaneous board members matters.
Any board members have anything they'd like to contribute before the conclusion of today's meeting? I see none. All right. Then I believe that concludes our agenda
Yes.
today. If there's no further business before this board, we stand adjourned.